start to talk about the Internet of Things, you pretty quickly lead to these ideas of big data. Our next company is all about big data and making it very accessible. Let's welcome to the stage qunb.
Glad to have you here. I'm Cyrille, I'm 40, and I'm gonna tell you the story of a pivot. This is me, when I was a consultant. I was struggling to find numerical information for my clients, like market volume or GDP. But consultants are not the ones who face this problem. Media do as well, or entrepreneurs when building their business plan. In fact, almost anybody does. Why the hell is it so complex to find numbers? Because search engines are not meant for numbers, and because numbers still miss their platform. So we did it, and qunb was born. The vision was titanic. Let's grab thousands of sources, trillions of rows, real big data, and put that for you into one single search bar. And let's build a product so cool that you could not only find numbered information, but also visualize it in any way, compare it with other sources, and use it offline or online. An iTunes for numbers that would disrupt the distribution models of data-centric industries like market research, $73 billion. The idea was good, don't you think? Well, at least we got invited to join the French accelerator Le Camping, and we raised money from angel investors, and we started hiring the most efficient and the best big data and product folks ever, and we launched our first version, and we failed. Ouch. Why the hell? Well, it was a one-on-one mistake. We were facing the chicken and egg problem. Our value proposition will be great in 3 years from now. Not now. We don't have enough data yet, so we can't have enough traction yet, and vice versa. So, what should we have done? Well, we were looking at the wrong direction. Instead of targeting people who need data, let's just focus on a problem we can solve right away, helping people with data to put it to use. And we did our revolution. We are French, after all, aren't we? So we reused the amazing tech we had developed and started looking at the plain old YouTube business model at the very beginning. Remember it. Their tagline was not find videos, but broadcast yourself. And so we did the same. Now, on qunb, anyone can upload, standardize, and broadcast their own data. But let's jump into a demo, right? So I have data, and I want to make sense out of it. I upload it on the platform. It's as easy as copy and paste. Here, the data is my daily walking statistics measured by my Fitbit device. Now, the data is live on the platform. And a genius AI let me go through different data visualization. All of them are simple, interactive, meaningful. And I can check every chart and compare the correlation between this very chart and any other data. It's up to you. What do you want to do? So let's say I want to compare my walking statistics with the weather. I just drag and drop temperature, which is already on the platform, and wow, surprise, it's correlated. I need to do more exercise in winter. We understand semantically all the data you're uploading. Write down 2012, Spain, LeWeb, or pizza, and we make your data comparable to any other data defined on the same items. And let's replace this Fitbit data with business data. And you get business insights in seconds. So, now your question is, who are your customers, right? Well, First, on one hand, we go for data providers, data firms who sell their data. And we help them not only to put their data online, but on steroids, starting with 2 big names, and there's more to come. On the other hand, we go for large corporations who want to understand their data and compare it with external data, starting with 2 big names, and more to come. For this, we are now very proud. We are endorsed by SAP, which is marketing us now, featuring us on their marketplace. That's a great boost for our B2B marketing efforts, isn't it? So now, we had a way to bootstrap this powerful quantitative data ecosystem where the first large corporation can start consuming data from the first data providers. But something is still missing here, don't you think? Yeah, your data is missing. Because you have data. You have tons of them. Quantified self data, Internet of Things data, business-related data, or hobby-related data. You have tons of them. And they're waiting to come to life, to become visualized, mashed up with others, and shared. So, free your quantitative data. Make it visual and interactive. Make it comparable to any other sources. And keep it for you, private, or broadcast it to whoever you want. The one thing that is very important for us is your feedback now. So, thank you for this.
Excellent. I'm going to ask you to join me here on the spot. And we will turn it to our judges for their feedback, or at least their questions. Who would like to jump in?
So imagine the ultimate monetization is some kind of freemium strategy where there's premium data.
Right. We have a software as a service business model for large corporations, and we have a freemium model that will be released in a few months on the public data.
How will you build up enough premium quality data, which a lot of times you have to pay for before you get, it's sort of the chicken and egg question again.
That's the exact problem we had at the beginning, because we started offering a value proposition that was find any data you need, which is actually unreachable for us at the level we are. We think it's the long-term vision, and we want to stick to it, but we want now to bootstrap something that is feasible. And by just getting more and more data consumers on the B2B side, like Procter & Gamble, for instance, and by bringing data providers that have a direct use for those large corporations, we bootstrap the ecosystem. And we don't pretend at the beginning to be able to serve any kind of need.
How do you make sure the data is correctly up to date?
Actually, some sources supply batch data, like updated every year. So we have jobs that actually process the data as and when it's actually updated. And we also consume data from different APIs. So we have real-time data on the platform.
What about business insight? Like, how do you manage the quality check on the business insights?
Actually, we are only a data platform. So as YouTube doesn't guarantee the quality of the videos that are stored on YouTube, we can't pretend to actually guarantee the reliability of the data. The only thing we do is to guarantee that the data we have on the platform is exactly as is the data supplied by the data provider.
So I don't want you to ever give up your goal of being the search engine for any data, because I need that, everybody needs that. The key thing that you've got to solve, though, is the data, right? So how are you going to do that? What I was going to suggest to you was, in London, we've done something called the Open Data Institute, which is pioneering this concept of becoming a data donor. And Tim Berners-Lee is heading it up, and he's trying to persuade corporations to actually release data to make that available, like in the public domain. So embrace that data donor concept and actually amplify it and try and persuade companies to contribute some data would be a terrific starting point for that.
Thank you. So, we of course follow what the open data movement does. We grab a lot of open data on the platform, and we actually work with some French companies who are not data-centric, but who are willing to do something with their data and to publish those data publicly.
Other questions?
SNCF, for instance, we will have some first data sets from SNCF on the platform soon.
Could you just run me through a use case of one of your retail customers, what exactly they'd be doing with your platform?
Say, for instance, Procter & Gamble, they want to assess the efficiency of their media campaigns. So they have this media campaign data internally, but they want to cross-compare this data with audience data, with Twitter activity data, and so on. And our platform is a business intelligence for dummies tool. That's what we call ourselves, BI for dummies, that enable them to just very quickly check some assumptions, whether there would be a correlation between this data and external data. And they can just have a check of their assumption in seconds, and that's actually what they do. So one use case would be this media campaign information. We have another use case which is very simple, which is just the comparison of sales data with weather data. Is there any correlation between the roofing products I am selling versus weather? And the last use case we're working on, which is a bit more complex, is the analysis of technical failure statistics by SNCF, which is the French railway operator, against external data like weather, traffic, and so on. So this is a different use case we have. We are not very domain-specific. Actually, we are quite opportunistic, and so we are adapting what we do to the need of our first clients.
Other questions? Comments?
How are you planning on pricing it? How will you price it?
We have a licensing model, as I told you, on the B2B side. So we're selling both product license and service, because we also behave like data hunters to acquire some external data for the companies we are working with. And the pricing model on the freemium side, we still have to work on that. The most important for us is to get user feedback, as I said, because we need to fine-tune this model. But I think that would be something quite cheap for an individual. Like 10 euros a month would be a good pricing, maybe. But that's a guess only.
Well, I love the idea of democratizing data and data access, and certainly if you're capable and successful in doing that, there are lots of opportunities that open up. So thank you very much for sharing your product with us today.
Bye-bye.
Thank you to QNB.